On this week's episode, how much damage has Wreck-It Ralph and Fallout 76 created? Are people psyched by The Lion King? And what does Josh think of Fantastic Beasts? All this and more as we once again delve into the pop culture cosmos. And we're back with another episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos. My name is Gerald Glasser from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We truly appreciate you listening to all of our shows, but it wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without the master planner himself of our upcoming charity event. He's also the head of Humanica Media, which you can catch on humanicamedia.com, Humanica Media on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and so much more. It is my good friend helping me with this awesome responsibility known as our charity event. It is Josh Peterson. What's going on, man? Are you getting any more gray hairs like I am?
No, not yet, but who knows by the time this thing actually happens. But hey, any support you guys out in the audience want to give to us, that would be fantastic, whether in donate to the various charities we're given to, or just show up and let us know that you're a fan. We love that too.
That's right. If you're in the Las Vegas or Henderson area in December, on December 15th, we're going to be having a big shindig at Retro City Games in Henderson, Nevada. It is our holiday game night from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. there. We're going to be having a lot of fun. We got music artists like Hyperschmidt, True Dye, Vedius, possibly even Plasma Z showing up. We're going to have great tournaments with prizes that are going to be available for the winners in Fortnite, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and also Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mario Party Wars, FX Unit Yuki, Game Source, Go Brothers Gaming. They're all going to be helping out all the great people at Retro City Games. Once again, it is on December 15th, Retro City Games in Henderson, Nevada. Even if you cannot make it by on the 15th, if you could please drop off a monetary, canned food, or toy donation, new toy donation, please do so at any point in time between now and the 15th. Please go ahead, because all canned food proceeds go to 3 Square of Las Vegas. All new toy donations go to the UMC Children's Hospital of Nevada, and all monetary donations go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We truly want to help all 3 of these organizations out there. They're truly deserving, and in the holiday spirit, we truly want to make things happen for all of these individual programs. So if you could please come by with a donation, or stop by on the 15th and donate at that time. But anytime during then, we just truly appreciate anything that you can give back. It really helps out the community and helps us out for everything that we do here at Pop Culture Cosmos, Retro City Games, and so much more. On December 15th, it's going to be a great night, the holiday game night. Again, December 15th at Retro City Games. But it is going to be a great show we've got for you. We are going to be talking some Wreck-It Ralph, Fallout 76, The Lion King. Josh is going to talk about Fantastic Beasts, but also stopping by as well is Ben Arnaud from the Smoking Hot Confessions podcast. He's got some more great food and grilling tips coming up for you. And also on the back end, we've got Tyler Baker from the Fantasy Football Patriot podcast. He is coming up as well with his thoughts on the weekend on the NFL weekend in week 12 of the NFL. My friend, it's been a great weekend. Thanksgiving, we have Thanksgiving, we have Black Friday. I know we got a lot of great stuff. I know you got a lot of great stuff. I got a lot of great stuff for Black Friday, but it was also a great Thanksgiving weekend for Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and also Creed. Wreck-It Ralph having the second largest domestic opening at the box office this weekend. Reviews are positive. It looks really good for Wreck-It Ralph as going forward. It will do even better than the original, which is what you hope for when it comes to a sequel. Also, Creed 2 is doing extremely well for itself, having the largest live action opening ever for a Thanksgiving 5-day period. So, your thoughts on both Wreck-It Ralph 2 and Creed 2? These sequels are doing better than their originals, which is actually like I said before, is exactly what you want to do when you put out a sequel, especially during the Thanksgiving season.
Yeah, I haven't seen either of them, but from what I understand, Creed 2 is actually really good, and the fact that Creed 2 is kind of a smaller movie and it's doing so well on Thanksgiving weekend kind of speaks a lot about the what it is and what it's trying to accomplish. And as for Wreck-It Ralph 2, I still it's one of those movies that's been on my list for a long time. Haven't gotten a chance to see the first one, but it's impressive because I mean we haven't had a lot of like popular animated movies come out on Thanksgiving. Most of them wait until December to come out. And I know the Grinch. How's the Grinch doing right now? Is it still doing pretty well?
The Grinch is doing all right. It's actually going to be in third place over the course of the weekend, actually besting Fantastic Beasts #2, which doesn't sound like good things for the Harry Potter series for Fantastic Beasts going forward. But we'll touch on that in a little bit. But yes, the Grinch looks like domestically here in the U.S., it is just about to nose out Fantastic Beasts for third place. So it's still doing pretty good. It's garnered over $180 million domestically here in the box office. Creed 2 finished above just a bit above the $55 million mark domestically for the 5-day period. So that is a great sign. And Ralph Breaks the Internet is going above 80 itself, and well over $100 million worldwide already in its first few days out there. So that's great signs for all those movies except for Fantastic Beasts. Again, we'll touch on that. I tell you what, my friend, it looks good for the Grinch. Although Thanksgiving period, I want to correct you on that. I mean, first off, Frozen, Tangled, there's been actually a few that, while they didn't have the humongous starts that some of their Pixar cohorts in crime have done, some of the other animated series from like Despicable Me and whatnot, those have been all over 80, 90, $100 million startups for just a 3-day weekend. There's still some decent fairings that have been out there animated wise during the Thanksgiving holiday weekend that have come out and actually done pretty good. And I guess, obviously Frozen started off that. Frozen is one of the biggest. Frozen is the biggest of these movies, and it actually did much better over the course of time because it had so much great legs over the course of the Christmas holiday season that it came out. So, yeah, the animated season usually ramps up a little bit more during the Christmas holiday and even during the summer, but let's not take the Thanksgiving holiday season for granted as well.
Yeah. Well, I can't backtrack what I said now, but yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Yeah. But I can go ahead and backtrack what you said.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I don't know. Honestly, like, I don't go see movies around Thanksgiving that much, except Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So, but yeah, I'm glad to see Disney still kind of owning the box office around this time because it's kind of the kids are out of school, the parents are off, and it's kind of a good time for families to spend together, especially if they want to go see something in the movie theaters. So, I'm glad to see that's doing well, and I've heard nothing but great things about the Grinch. So, maybe this is showing us that Thanksgiving and that week between the end of Thanksgiving and December is kind of a time for family oriented movies to come out, and that's cool because we don't really have, I guess, throughout the course of the year, we don't really have enough of those.
Well, the only thing with when it comes to Disney, they needed the success of Wreck-It Ralph 2 because it was not a sure thing because of the fact that the original was not a very, how should I say, strong worldwide box office number that did not produce strong worldwide box office numbers the first time around. So it was kind of questionable whether or not this series would continue, but I'm sure glad that they did. Very positive reviews out there. And especially it is a good sign for Disney coming off the tepid reviews and also the tepid box office that was the Nutcracker in the Four Realms, which looks like from all intents and purposes it's going to be a big bomb for them at the box office. Your thoughts on the future going forward for Disney, because there's a lot of live action stuff going out there. We're going to talk about at the end of the show, The Lion King, but with Mary Poppins and some other Dumbo and some other stuff coming on the way outside of The Lion King, it still looks pretty good for the next 12 months when it comes to Disney.
My thoughts on that is Disney really, honestly, 100% has run out of original thought, and that's why they keep putting out these live action flicks. That's not to say they're not good. I thoroughly enjoyed Jungle Book, and I don't know if I'm going to get around to seeing Dumbo because I remember that movie depressed the hell out of me as a kid. But Aladdin looks interesting. I love Guy, as we know, as we've argued about before, I love Guy Ritchie as a filmmaker. And I'm hearing. I know Mulan has had its fair share of production holdups, but who knows? At this point, it could be good. Sounds like there's a lot of hype going on behind that one. So I don't know, man. Like honestly, I feel like there is a call for live action. It's a good way to bridge the gap between the generation that grew up with those flicks and the young kids coming up who haven't seen them. It's just a question of like, we have movies like A Wrinkle in Time, Nutcracker, stuff like that. Like, is Disney ever going to put out anything new that ends up being successful? Because it seems like, as far as marketing budgets go, they put all their money behind properties that they know are going to do well, that already have an existing fan base. Whereas if they would have taken something like, John Carter, I know we talk about a lot, and actually stop trying to market toys and all that, and trying to franchise it, like there could be gold, pardon the pun, but a diamond in the rough there if Disney were to give it the care and treatment that it deserves. But they don't do that. So I don't know what the future holds. Once they run out of live action remakes to do, put money into, who really knows what's going to happen to them.
So Dumbo was really a bad time for you?
Dumbo was. I'm not saying Dumbo is not a great movie, but it was so sad, man. It was just, it was one of those, like, I could watch Robin Hood and Sword in the Stone and The Great Mouse Detective over and over and over, but Dumbo was like, it was a one watcher, man. I'd never wanted to go back to that movie again.
Don't go there with Robin Hood, because it tanked, unfortunately, this weekend at the box office, the latest rendition of Robin Hood.
I saw IGN gave it a 4. I'm still gonna go see it, just because, like, I just got done. I don't know if you got a chance to watch The Outlaw King on Netflix. Not a great movie, not a terrible movie, but I just like watching historical pieces because we don't get those a lot anymore. Good or bad, whatever it is, it's a nice, like, I would rather watch one of those than just find some garbage on Netflix to turn on, I guess, if that makes sense.
Should we go back to our argument and discussion over King Arthur?
If you want to be wrong about it.
I and a lot of other people that did not see the film, even though I saw it, kind of swayed towards my side, with the lack of production and all that. But anyways, what if there was a live action Bambi? Because we all know about the tragic ending for there.
Honestly, kids will never know true heartbreak in a movie until they watch The Never-Ending Story.
Yes. Or when, unfortunately, Bambi's mother meets her unfortunate demise. But we won't go there. I hope they don't put that as a live action. But knowing them, they might. Knowing them. But anyways, what are your thoughts out there on what Wreck-It Ralph is doing? What are your thoughts out there on what Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Wrecks the Internet, is doing out there? Share us your thoughts. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Did you enjoy it? Do you think it's worthy of another sequel, so that there's going to be a trilogy of Wreck-It Ralph films? Do you really think that's going to be able to? Do you really think that's going to happen? Do you really think that's going to be a great part of the Disney animation series? Share us your thoughts. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Also as well, Pop Culture Cosmos, Humanica Media, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. I wanted to, before we hit the break, talk to you also about Fallout 76. I know I discussed this a little bit on our PCC Multiverse with Rob McCallum of Rob McCallum Films. We talked about the rage that customer was going through at GameStop, where he tore up an entire GameStop after not being able to return his Fallout 76. To me, that sends a larger message that there are a lot of people out there upset with the direction of the Fallout series as because of what was released in Fallout 76. You and I have spoken at length about our thoughts on it, but I just wanted to go ahead and get one more kind of clarification from you on what Fallout 76 is doing now and what Fallout 76 is going to be doing going forward for the Fallout series, because I think it really, like, it could be, what do you think in comparison, it could be the Mass Effect Andromeda of 2018?
I don't know if I'd go that far. The complaints I'm hearing mostly is that it's not there's not enough in the game to play, whereas Mass Effect had a lot of it was a big it was a big movement in meme culture for a long time, as far as the facial animations and all that. Uh, and here's the thing about Bethesda too, is Todd Howard's a good dude, and that whole company has a lot of goodwill towards their fans. And this was a flub, yeah, but who's to say, the fans are gonna get over it pretty quick. So um who knows, like a year from now Fallout 76 can be a completely different game. We don't know. It probably will be, because Bethesda is not known to just put a piece of garbage out and not do anything to try to remedy the situation. So you have to take into consideration their reputation and just their history with their fans, and know that they're going to do something about this. So things will change. It could be a better game, 5-6 months from now. I haven't played it yet. I know it's on sale a lot on Black Friday. That thing about the guy trashing that GameStop, super sad, but kind of funny at the same time. Yeah, it's just that was a violent reaction to that. So it kind of makes me wonder how everyone else is feeling about it. But again, they will fix it, and that's the great thing about having games that are connected to the internet these days, is that you can fix games after launch. And I know that Bethesda is going to do something like that for Fallout 76.
Well, I still do see some support for it out there. In fact, when I was out there on Black Friday at Best Buy, the person in front of me in line, waiting over a half an hour in line to purchase his product, was actually, in fact, the big, large strategy guide for Fallout 76. And he already had purchased his Fallout 76 baseball cap, and he was all geared out in Fallout 76 t-shirt, I think a regalia as well. So, there is still some love for the Fallout series. I'm just disappointed at the overall reaction to it. It looks like that this game could have been something very special, and unfortunately, so far, due to the usual Bethesda bugs, glitches, the lack of variety in the environment, the lack of things to do in the environment, and maybe also as well from what I'm seeing, the interaction between players and how Bethesda tried to go ahead and incorporate that into the game seems to be something at a little bit of a deficiency also as well for the game and the series going forward. So it looks like Fallout, yes, you're right, they're probably going to go ahead and put update after update and even try harder to put more updates into it to make it a salvageable game by this time next year. But going forward, it isn't until a new Fallout single player narrative driven game comes back out, maybe in 3-4 years, that we're going to see a rebirth or a back to form for the Fallout series that people are going to have faith once again in, because Fallout 76 is going to leave a bad taste in their mouths for some time to come, just like Mass Effect Andromeda. And I understand that Elder Scrolls might fix everything to a lot of people, but if Elder Scrolls has the same issues that Fallout 76 has, and it gets the terrible scores in reviews out there that Fallout 76 is getting, that may not be a good thing for Bethesda long term, because Elder Scrolls and Fallout are the two series that they shouldn't mess with. They've got a great formula for them both. And once they try to start messing both of them, In the case of Elder Scrolls, it was Elder Scrolls Online, which not everybody loved. Now they're going to a Elder Scrolls format where it's going to be all over mobile and all over, so many other platforms. That might be a great thing, or it might be a thing or it might be something that might be similar in reception to what we're seeing with Fallout 76. So we'll have to wait and see on that realm. But
wait, real quick. As far as Elder Scrolls and Fallout goes, like, I get it. I get that people are upset, and I get these are big games, big names, but no massive online game has ever been perfect at launch. Look at, you got the Old Republic, Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy 15. The list goes on, and again, like, it's one of those situations where these online games, the great thing about them is they can be revamped and relaunched. And whereas we have your standard Fallout and Elder Scrolls games, no, like, those are almost completely different genres. I would go as far as to say. So I don't know, like, if this shows a bad thing, is foreboding for those games, but who knows, man. But like, I almost want to say that these online games are a whole different beast in themselves.
Well, like I said, Elder Scrolls Blades has to be a game when it comes out on all those different platforms that Elder Scrolls fans are going to love, or else you're going to see the type of backlash you're seeing now from Fallout 76. And that could damage both those series and anything else Bethesda puts out going forward, because those are the big 1-2 punches for Bethesda, is the Elder Scrolls series and the Fallout series. And with both of them, they have to make sure they're on point, because if those two aren't consistently good over the course of time, then that will make the entire company suffer, and anything else that they try to put out will definitely feel the hurt from that. What are your thoughts out there on Fallout 76 and the future of the Fallout series going forward? Do you feel like Josh and I that this is going to be just another? Do you feel like Josh that this is going to be another blip? Do you feel like Josh that this is just a blip in the road, or do you feel more like me that if they're not careful with the Elder Scrolls and Fallout series, there could be some permanent damage for the long term? Share us your thoughts. PopCultureCosmos at yahoo.com. Also as well, PopCultureCosmos, Humanica Media, and Game Source on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram too, as well. All right, coming up right after the break, it's Ben Arnault from the Smoking Hot Confessions podcast. He's got some more great talk, some yummy talk coming up when it comes to cooking and grilling recipes that he's got in mind. You got to listen to that, especially going into the holidays with some whatever you're doing as far as holiday parties, and you're going to need some ideas and tips for some great grilling, some great cooking ideas. So he's coming up after the break on that. And later on in the hour, Tyler Baker from the Fantasy Football Patriot podcast recaps week 12 in the NFL. So listen to that for all you fantasy football owners out there, because it's getting close to playoff time. Got to start making some adjustments soon. And he's going to advise you on what went on this weekend in the NFL, and if you should go ahead and make some changes to your team going forward. This is the Pop Culture Cosmos. And we're back with the Pop Culture Cosmos. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you. If you need a listing of where we're at, where we're being played on so many different stations around the world, 7 days a week, also as well, we're on over 30 different podcast networks. We've got a listing that's right there for you. It's right at the Facebook page for Pop Culture Cosmos, and also the Facebook page for Game Source 2. Josh, I know you got a great thing going on with Humanica Media. Now that you guys had that turkey week off, what's going on with your great experience known as Humanica Media?
Just a new episode of Topicocalypse going up today. I'm actually currently editing it. The second part of the Tribalism in the Church episode with Travis Carrero. So that'll be up shortly tonight. So pay attention and stay tuned for that.
I also know that our good friend Chad with Hyperschmidt and True Die also as well, they're going ahead and started putting out some publicity stuff for their big thing going on the 15th of December when we go ahead and they come over to Las Vegas and share their great music with us here at Retro City Games for the holiday game night. Is that not correct?
Yep, they will definitely be there. So if you're a fan, tune in, or there'll be a live stream going. Tune in or show up there. But yes, Hyperschmidt and Trudai will be there.
Hyperschmidt and Trudai will be there playing their awesome music. Hopefully, we're going to get Vedius as well. He's scheduled to play his great music and all of his great video game covers with that awesome heavy metal tinge to it. And we're hoping for Plasma Z as well. Haven't got a confirmation on that yet, but that is December 15th in Henderson, Nevada, a suburb of Las Vegas, right there for you, just minutes away from the Strip, coming up on December 15th for a great charity event known as the Holiday Game Night at Retro City Games. Josh, I know you got some thoughts. I know you had to, you called me up during the Thanksgiving holiday season. You called me up and wanted to go ahead and vent on what your thoughts were on Fantastic Beasts. If you want to check out my thoughts on Fantastic Beasts, I actually posted them on our Monday show last week and also on our popculturecosmos.com site. I've got a full review there, or our popculturecosmos.wordpress.com site too. So tell me, man, I know your thoughts already on what you were experiencing when it comes to Fantastic Beasts 2. It's obviously experiencing a downturn at the box office, which leads to some concerns over the course of time when it comes to a 5-film series for the Fantastic Beasts. Your thoughts, man, on Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald?
Wasn't a fan. Did not. I enjoyed going back to the universe, but the story was so disconnected, and there a lot of the things they did in the first movie, they completely undid, and it's all cheap narrative too. Is all the stuff that the big like, oh no, I can't believe they did that moments happened because they were looking for ways to get you emotionally invested in the movie. And I don't know if we can go into spoilers here, but a big thing that there's two things that really irked me was one was the Lita Lestrange stuff. Like she could have been like they could have dragged that on for a long time, created a love triangle, whatever, through the next 2 or 3 movies, and they wasted an opportunity. They're like, oh, we don't know what to do with her, so we're gonna kill her. Why? What was the purpose? Why did you introduce her? What was the point of that? And then you had the whole thing with what's the blonde girl's name? I can't remember. The sister,
Queenie?
Queenie. That whole thing was stupid too. Like it didn't make sense. She wanted to marry Jacob, and the fact that Jacob didn't want to marry her didn't make sense either. Like, oh, you could, they could kill you, but just get married in secret. Who really cares? And the whole thing we're like, oh, but Grindelwald could solve this problem. That change was so rapid that it did not make any sense whatsoever. And then as for the rest of it, it was just motion. There wasn't anything tying any of the narrative together. It had a very jumbled plot and then a spectacle at the end. Like the whole thing with the dragon threatening to destroy Paris. They didn't even allude to Grindelwald wanting to destroy Paris until he put that line in there in the end. It's a lot, and it was so jumbled, and it was not a I did not like it. I thought that Jude Law's Dumbledore was interesting, but as far as the final reveal goes, it seems like that's the only thing. If that hadn't have happened, nobody would really care about anything that happened in this movie.
Essentially, I agree with you on most of your accounts. I just thought the movie was from beginning to end a waste of time. The only thing that people were there for is who goes on which side, and you don't even get clear motivations for why people are doing what they're doing at the end. And it just was kind of a disappointing film overall. And unfortunately for me, as someone who is not a diehard Harry Potter fan, I was actually kind of bummed out because I really wanted to get more involved in the Harry Potter series after Fantastic Beasts. And now Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald has taken me so far out of it. I don't see any point in going ahead and delving more into the Harry Potter series, which kind of is a bummer because I've got Harry Potter fans around me here at the house, but yeah, it just was something I really wanted to delve in more into, and the more I delved into it, the less I like it, especially after watching Fantastic Beasts 2. So truly disappointing. You could read my full thoughts on it again at popculturecosmos.com. Josh, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts on it. And unfortunately, it looks like it's not going to be appearing anytime at all next month on our best of top films of the year in movies. But and you never know, it may end up being on the bottom list, and that would be a shame for especially going forward. And one last question to ask you: speaking of going forward for the Fantastic Beasts series, what does a movie like this do for the expected 5-film series? Do you see a shortening of the series? Do you see it just going to a trilogy now, or what do you see Warner Brothers doing with the series now that there's been so much of a bad reaction to Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald?
I don't think anything that drastic is going to happen. I don't see them cutting anything because Warner Brothers does have a plan, as we've discussed, because they kind of have the rumor is they're working on the Cursed Child films and all that, but I don't see them cutting any films. If anything, I see them kind of taking the feedback of the fans and trying to remedy the plot going forward, because they're only on movie 2, which means they have 3 more films to kind of right the ship, I suppose. But um, I hope that's the case. Again, I could be wrong, and J.K. Rowling is kind of, she has developed this sense of hubris as far as her storytelling abilities go, and the way people think about her. So I could be very wrong on that, but let's hope that I'm not, because otherwise, I'm still gonna go watch them. But again, I'm not going to like recommend them to anyone. I'm not gonna like go out and buy the Blu-ray. I'm committed to the story at this point, but it's not something I'm going to be praising very much unless they fix things going forward.
I can't blame you a bit. And for someone out there like me who was kind of leaning on the fence in which way to go ahead and rediscover the Harry Potter franchise, for me now it looks like I'm off the fence. But you never know. A couple good Fantastic Beasts movie down the road, and you never know, it might get me back in, and a lot of others, and a lot of other people as well. What are your thoughts out there on Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald? It's doing all right at the box office, but not quite as well as any other film in the Harry Potter series. It looks like it probably will end up somewhere in the mid fives to $600 million worldwide, which unfortunately it's not quite what they were hoping for at Warner Brothers. Share us your thoughts on why this happened, and share your thoughts on the future of the Fantastic Beasts series. Share us your thoughts. popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Coming up next, Tyler Baker from the Fantasy Football Pater podcast stops by to give you a recap of what went on in Week 12 in the NFL and some quick thoughts on some changes you might need to make before you head into the playoffs. This is the Pop Culture Cosmos. And we're back to close out the show. This is the Pop Culture Cosmos. Hey, it's Gerald coming right back at you here. Want to thank so much Tyler Baker from the Fantasy Football Pater podcast and Ben Arnault from the Smoking Hot Confessions podcast. Want to thank them both so much, and check out their programs today, each and every time they come back on the air, with Ben Arnault debuting his season 3 in early December, and Tyler Baker on every week on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel as part of the Fantasy Football Pater podcast. My friend, before we head on out, got to talk The Lion King. The live action trailer hit, and my gosh, it has garnered a big influx of viewers, one of the highest view counts within a very short period of time in regards to what people are wanting to see. Your thoughts on why the Lion King trailer has become so popular, and why the Lion King itself, a live action version of it, which we talked about other live action versions at the beginning of the show for Disney, why this one may be the most popular of them all.
Yeah, feel free to disagree with me, but the Lion King, you ask people what was their pivotal or most important Disney experience growing up, as far as going to see a movie in the theater. A lot of them will say it was Lion King, Aladdin, or Mulan usually. So, you know, for me when I was a kid, I remember going to see Lion King at El Capitan in Hollywood, and that was a tremendous experience, and I loved it. And you know, that's one of the because of that, and that movie sticks out kind of in my head more than any other Disney movie. And I think that I'm not the only one. And it's kind of how we talked about Nightmare Before Christmas. Like Disney has noticed the love that this film has, and they've kind of you know, not franchise. Well, they have kind of franchise in a way, but they have parades based on it, and they have, you know, there you can find Lion King stuff in the gift shops, and they have shows and stuff like that. Yeah, there was an animated series for a bit, and they had a couple straight to VHS sequels. It's a big thing, and people love it, and I think it's one of the vital Disney experiences for anyone growing up, even kids now. Like I know their parents will go out and you know, show them Lion King, pick up the Blu-ray. Like it's important. Like if you're a Disney fan, Lion King is definitely something you have to watch. And I don't know what makes it so special. Maybe it's the you know, the themes of fatherhood and friendship and things like that, but it's definitely one of those movies that you can't really call yourself a true Disney fan or really experience uh cinema in general in the area that is Disney unless you have seen The Lion King. And the also I think a big thing they got going for them too is like the, you know, much like Black Panther, we got an all African American cast working for 'em with the exception of Seth Rogen. I can't remember the other one, but uh yeah, and it's they're playing to the things that make The Lion King good and the opportunities they have found in The Lion King. And I think that's genius marketing on Disney's part, but it's also goes to show that like Jon Favreau can do something outside of the Marvel flicks that will really draw people in, and that's exciting.
Yes, it's very exciting. I know a lot of people are gearing up for it, and I think it's going to do big box office numbers when it comes out next year. I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. And if the huge response of the trailer for the initial trailer of the live action version of The Lion King is any indication, is that indeed the Lion King live action film coming next year from Disney is going to be one of the biggest hits of the year for 2019. What are your thoughts out there on the initial trailer for The Lion King? Are you excited for it now? Is this something that you're going to mark as one of these special films that you're going to see coming in 2019? Or is it something that you're going to wait for home video or any other outlet or not even catch at all because you're not really enthused by the direction of Disney rebooting all these old ideas into a live action format? Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos at yahoo.com. Also as well, Pop Culture Cosmos, Humanica Media, and Game Source on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Josh, it's been another great episode. We've got a lot of stuff in the works for our Friday episode, the PCC Multiverse. Just want to thank you again for stopping by. As always, any last thoughts, my friend?
Stay up to date on our Facebook and Instagram pages for the Las Vegas thing. It's going to be a good time. There's going to be prizes. Miracle Fruit Oils, Vitabrace will be there, and we'll have some. You know, of course, we'll have our musical guests. So definitely stay tuned. And we'd love, honestly, if you could just donate to some of these charities because there are a lot of people out there who are less fortunate than you and I and Gerald around the holidays, and they would be super grateful for anything we could get to them.
Exactly. And any contributions that you can make towards this event, again, for monetary donations, go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. For canned food, it goes to 3 Square of Las Vegas. And for any new toy that goes to donation to Retro City Games over the course of time up into and including the 15th of December, that all goes to the UMC Children's Hospital of Nevada, which all 3 are great causes to donate to, and just cannot thank you enough for doing so. Cyber Monday is now upon us, my friend. Just an awesome time. Any more shopping you got to do get that last little bit of shopping in before the holiday season really kicks in?
I gotta do a lot of shopping. I haven't bought anything for my family yet. I did buy something for myself on Black Friday, but I got a lot of shopping I got to do. But it probably won't happen until after our little charity gig here. So, yeah, got a lot of shopping. From what I understand, though, a lot of people are telling me Cyber Mondays become kind of a joke these days. So I'm curious to see what's going on sale, this coming week.
Cyber Monday always gives me ideas. It's like the leftovers. It's like when you go to like when you have Thanksgiving dinner and then the day or two after you're just hitting the fridge for the leftovers. Just seems like to me that that's all it's about. The sales and reductions aren't usually as good, or for people out there who couldn't shop at Black Friday, Cyber Monday's there for you. Or if you forgot something on Black Friday over the course of the weekend, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot this product or forgot to get this gift for somebody. At least it'll be on a discount for you. So Cyber Monday does serve a purpose. It does generate a lot of income. And over the course of time, if they continue to make it something special, you never know, man. People just love going ahead and buying from the smartphone and buying from their computer and keep Cyber Monday alive. Keep Cyber Monday alive. So for Josh Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day in paradise right here in the Pop Culture Cosmos. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.